On June 17, 2019, two hikers found remains in the Sonoran Desert, 43 miles north of the U.S.-Mexico border near Yuma, Arizona. The body had been there 3 to 4 weeks, but this wasn't a hiker who'd gotten lost or a border crosser who'd succumbed to heat exposure. This was a professional execution, and the killers had taken specific steps to prevent identification. Yuma County Sheriff's Department Incident Report for 2019-006-17-0094. Responding Officer, Deputy Thomas Martinez, scene. Investigator, Detective Sylvia Rowland. Medical Examiner, Dr. James Dean. Initial observations: both hands doused in industrial-grade hydrochloric acid. Fingerprints completely destroyed. Facial features burned with accelerant. Dental work systematically shattered, sledgehammer impact patterns. 3 gunshot wounds to posterior skull. 9mm caliber, casings not recovered at scene. No identification on person evidence collected. Wallet, leather, partially burned. California driver's license, partially legible. Business card, singed edges. Clothing fragments, designer labels. Soil samples, forensic photographs, 47 total. Detective Rowland's preliminary assessment was direct. This was professional. Whoever did this understood forensic procedures. They destroyed everything we'd normally use for identification, but they made one critical mistake. The wallet was still in the victim's back pocket. Either the killers forgot to check thoroughly, or they wanted the body identified eventually, perhaps as a message. Inside the wallet, a California driver's license for Roberto Beto Salazar, age 52. Registered address, 2847 Morena Boulevard, San Diego, California. The license photo showed a heavy-set Hispanic male, approximately 6 feet tall, graying hair, no distinguishing marks visible. Also in the wallet, a business card printed on expensive stock paper. Salazar Consulting Group, Business Solutions. No physical address, just a phone number with a 619 area code, San Diego, and an email address. The phone number was disconnected. The email bounced back as undeliverable. But the California DMV photo matched the body's general height, build, and estimated age. Confirming identity required DNA comparison. On June 19th, Yuma County contacted the San Diego Police Department, which located Roberto Salazar's wife, Elena, at the Morena Boulevard address. She provided a DNA sample on June 20th. The comparison results came back positive on June 24th. Roberto Beto Salazar was officially dead. Cause of death: homicide by gunshot wounds to the head, execution style. Time of death: estimated May 15 to 2019. But the Yuma County Sheriff's Department knew this case exceeded their jurisdiction. The FBI was already interested in Roberto Salazar, because Salazar Consulting Group didn't consult on anything legitimate. FBI Organized Crime Division case file, DARA 2018 SD 8-47. Subject: Salazar, Roberto Beto. Classification: Target: money laundering investigation. Roberto Salazar operated an underground casino in Tijuana, Mexico, serving as a critical money laundering hub for the Sinaloa Cartel. The casino processed an estimated $12 million monthly in drug proceeds, converting dirty cash into gambling winnings that could be deposited into legitimate banking systems. The FBI had been building a case since 2018 as part of a broader investigation into Sinaloa financial networks. They'd identified Salazar through intercepted communications, informant tips, and financial transaction analysis. But they hadn't arrested him yet. They were waiting, gathering evidence, mapping the entire network before making arrests. Someone beat them to it. On June 25, 2019, FBI Special Agent Robert Williams received the Yuma County Medical Examiner's report. Beto Salazar, one of their primary investigation targets, was dead, murdered approximately 5 weeks earlier. Williams immediately suspected cartel involvement. In the narcotics trafficking world, execution-style murders typically indicated two things: punishment for stealing or betrayal, or elimination of a security risk. But as Williams began investigating Salazar's death, he uncovered something more complex. Roberto Salazar wasn't killed because he stole from the cartel. He was killed because someone made them believe he stole from them. That someone worked 5 feet away from Beto every night for 8 years. His pit boss, the man who actually stole $16.8 million, while Beto took the blame. His name was Daniel Marcus Reyes. This is the story of how an underground casino pit boss executed the most sophisticated embezzlement scheme in cartel history, framed his boss for murder, took over the operation, and almost disappeared with $16 million. Almost. FBI background check. Daniel Marcus Reyes. Social security number XXXXXX8847. Date of birth March 14th, 1978. Place of birth El Paso, Texas. Daniel Reyes grew up in El Paso's Lower Valley neighborhood, a working-class area where half the population crossed into Juarez daily for work and half crossed north for the same reason. His father, Miguel Reyes Sr., drove long-haul trucks for a produce distributor. His mother, Carmen, cleaned rooms at the Marriott downtown. Danny was the middle child of 3. His older brother, Miguel Jr., joined the Army at 18 and eventually settled in North Carolina. His younger sister, Anna, became a paralegal in Austin. Both cut contact with Danny years ago. Danny was exceptional with numbers, could solve probability problems in his head, but his family couldn't afford college. After high school in 1996, he started as a casino busboy in Las Vegas, became a dealer within 6 months, and mastered the trade within 2 years. Interview: Marcus Blake, former pit manager, Tropicana, Las Vegas, 2020. Danny started at the Tropicana in 2003 as a blackjack dealer. I was his supervisor. You could tell immediately he was different from other dealers. Most dealers, they memorize procedures and execute them. Danny understood them. He knew the mathematical edge on every bet, could calculate expected value distributions in real time, spotted card counters before our surveillance did. By 2007, we promoted him to pit boss, 29 years old, youngest in the casino. His job was to oversee 6 to 8 tables simultaneously, watch dealers for mistakes, monitor players for cheating, manage table limits, resolve disputes, ensure smooth operations. He was exceptional, absolutely exceptional. Never missed a shift in 4 years. Never lost his temper with difficult customers. Never made a significant error in chip counting or payout calculations. Management loved him. I thought he'd eventually become a casino manager, maybe even higher. Then in 2011, everything changed. What changed was gambling. Danny developed a sports betting addiction around 2009. Not at the Tropicana, he was too smart to gamble at his own casino. But he bet heavily on football, basketball, baseball through online sportsbooks and private bookmakers in Las Vegas. Financial reconstruction, FBI, 2020, 2009-2011. Gambling losses escalated from $23,000 to over $94,000 annually. By August 2011, total debt exceeded $200,000, including private bookmakers who don't accept bankruptcy. Marcus Blake noticed the change. Starting in early 2011, Danny looked exhausted, constant dark circles under his eyes, lost weight, started calling in sick, something he'd never done before. Stopped joining us for staff dinners. Just came to work, did his shift, left immediately. Then in August, he resigned. Said his mother in Mexico was seriously ill, and he needed to move back home to care for her. I was sad to see him go, but I understood. Family comes first. I found out years later his mother had been dead since 2003. He was running from his debts. Danny's last day at the Tropicana was August 26, 2011. He collected his final paycheck, cleaned out his locker, and drove back to his apartment in Henderson, Nevada. 3 days later, 2 men showed up at his door. Interview: Miguel. Pseudonym: Witness Protection Program 2120. Note: subject's face obscured, voice altered. Subject granted immunity in exchange for testimony against Sinaloa Cartel associates. I was working security for Beto Salazar in 2011. Beto ran an underground casino in Tijuana. High stakes, cash only, very exclusive clientele. Politicians, cartel members, wealthy businessmen. Minimum buy-in was $5,000. The casino existed to launder money for the Sinaloa Cartel. Drug proceeds came in as gambling revenue, went out as player winnings. Clean money that could enter legitimate banking systems, but running a casino required someone who understood the gaming industry. Beto had been looking for an experienced pit boss for months. Someone smart, someone desperate enough to work for criminals, someone with nothing to lose. A mutual contact, a casino host in Vegas, who occasionally referred high rollers to underground games, mentioned Danny Reyes, said he was a talented pit boss who'd gotten into debt trouble and left Vegas suddenly. Beto sent me and another guy to talk to Danny. Found him at his apartment in Henderson. Late August, maybe the 29th or 30th. We knocked. He answered. We introduced ourselves as business associates of Mr. Salazar. Asked if we could come in. Danny looked scared, like he knew who we represented, but he let us in. I explained the situation directly. You owe approximately $200,000 to people who don't accept payment plans. Your bookmakers are getting impatient. We can make that problem disappear. He asked how. I said, work for Mr. Salazar in Tijuana. Pit boss position, same as your Vegas job, $8,000 a month cash. All your debts forgiven immediately. Or we leave, and you deal with your creditors yourself. He sat there for maybe 2 minutes, not saying anything, just thinking. Then he asked, is this cartel work? I said yes. He asked, what happens if I say no? I didn't answer. Didn't need to. We both knew. He said, when do I start? September 1st. That was his start date. On September 1st, 2011, Daniel Reyes crossed the border into Tijuana, Mexico, carrying 1 suitcase and $847 in cash. He rented a small apartment in Zona Norte for $400 monthly. He reported to the underground casino at 6:00 p.m. for his first shift, the casino that would become both his prison and his opportunity. DEA Intelligence, 2015, declassified, 2021. The casino occupied 6,000 square feet beneath an electronics store on Avenida Revolution. 8 blackjack tables, 4 poker tables, 2 roulette wheels, 1 VIP baccarat room. Security included biometric entry, 32 cameras, rarely monitored, armed guards, and Faraday cage blocking cell signals. Cash-only operation processing, $8 to $12 million monthly for Sinaloa Cartel money laundering. Miguel's testimony continued. The first night Danny worked, Beto walked him through everything, showed him the tables, introduced him to the dealers, explained the rules. Same as any Vegas casino, just underground. Danny's job was identical to what he'd done in Vegas. Oversee the dealers, make sure games ran smoothly, watch for cheating, manage the flow, keep Beto informed of any issues. The difference? No gaming commission, no regulatory oversight, no computer systems tracking every chip, no hourly audits, just Beto's handwritten ledgers and end-of-night cash counts. Beto trusted his people. That was his strength and his weakness. Danny started cautiously. For the first 3 months, he simply learned the operation, watched how money moved through the casino, observed security procedures, studied Beto's accounting methods. What he discovered would change everything. In legitimate casinos, accountability is absolute. Every chip has a serial number. Inventory reconciliation occurs hourly. Computer systems automatically flag discrepancies over $500. Surveillance footage is reviewed constantly. State gaming commissions conduct surprise audits. Cash handling procedures involve multiple verification steps. None of that existed in Beto's underground casino. Forensic Accounting Analysis, FBI Financial Crimes Division, April 2020. Lead Analyst, Sylvia Martinez, CPA, CFE. After examining the seized financial records from Salazar's casino, the systemic vulnerabilities became immediately apparent. The casino operated on a trust-based accounting system. Beto Salazar maintained handwritten ledgers, literally spiral-bound notebooks purchased from Office Depot, recording nightly cash intake, player buy-ins, payouts, and operating expenses. No computer inventory management system, no automated tracking, no cross-verification protocols, no independent audits. The end-of-night reconciliation process involved exactly 3 people. 1. Beto Salazar, owner, operator. 2. Daniel Reyes, pit boss. 3. Head cashier, rotated between 3 employees. Process. Count all chips remaining on tables, manual count. Count all chips in the cage, manual count. Compare totals against beginning of night inventory, written on paper. Calculate difference, should equal cash paid out to winners. Count actual cash in cage, manual count. Verify the numbers match. If discrepancies existed, and they frequently did, Beto would make a judgment call. Small differences, $1,000, $3,000, were attributed to counting errors and ignored. Larger differences triggered investigation. This created the perfect environment for embezzlement. A skilled manipulator could systematically skim small amounts, staying below the threshold that would trigger scrutiny. Daniel Reyes was a very skilled manipulator. Danny's first test came in November 2011, 6 weeks into his employment. Incident reconstruction, based on Danny's later testimony and financial records. November 18, 2011, approximately 3:30 a.m. A VIP baccarat player, a wealthy Tijuana real estate developer, lost $180,000 over 4 hours of play. This was documented in real time by the dealer and confirmed by the player's cash out. He'd bought in for $220,000, left with $40,000. The casino should have shown $180,000 in additional chips in the cage after this player's losses. During the end-of-night count, Danny and the head cashier, a woman named Rosa, counted the chips. The actual amount, $165,000. They were short $15,000. Danny mentioned this to Beto. "We're $15,000 under," Beto recounted personally. He got $167,000, still short $13,000. Beto's response, "Close enough. Had other big players tonight. Probably miscounted somewhere. Write down 180. Danny wrote $180,000 in his log sheet. The official record showed perfect reconciliation. But in reality, $13,000 in chips existed that weren't accounted for in the ledger. Those chips sat in the cage, unreported, invisible. Nobody noticed. Nobody cared. Nobody checked. 3 months later, in February 2012, Danny ran a deliberate test. During his end-of-night count, he miscounted a blackjack table's chip tray by exactly $2,000. Told Beto the tray held $47,000, the actual amount $49,000. Beto logged $47,000 in his ledger. The $2,000 difference remained in the tray, unreported. The next night, Danny palmed those unreported chips during a shift change when the cage was busy. Took them home in his jacket pocket. The following weekend, he drove to a small casino in Rosarito, 40 miles south, and cashed them in. Nobody said anything. Nobody noticed they were missing. Nobody investigated. The vulnerability was real. Interview. Carlos, former dealer, Witness Protection Program 20-20. Note, Carlos received full immunity in exchange for testimony. He cooperated extensively with federal investigators. I started working at the casino in 2010, year before Danny arrived. Dealt blackjack mostly, some poker. Made about $3,000 a month, which was good money in Tijuana. Danny seemed like a regular pit boss at first. Professional, fair, knew the games inside out. He'd watch us dealers carefully, correct small mistakes, keep everything running smooth. I didn't know he was stealing. Not for years, nobody did. He was too smart about it. But looking back, I should have seen signs, little things that didn't add up. What Carlos didn't see, because Danny was extremely careful, was the systematic development of an embezzlement scheme that would eventually net $16.8 million. Danny spent all of 2012 refining his methods. He identified 3 primary techniques that could be executed simultaneously without triggering Beto's suspicion. Technique number 1, the phantom winner, legitimate scenario. Player wins $30,000 at blackjack. Casino pays out $30,000 in chips. Player cashes out $30,000. Ledger shows $30,000. Lost to casino. Danny's manipulation. Player wins $30,000 at blackjack. Casino pays out $30,000 in chips. Player cashes out $30,000. Danny reports to Beto. Player won $35,000. Ledger shows $35,000. Lost to casino. Reality. Casino only lost $30,000. Difference, $5,000 goes to Danny's pocket. From Beto's perspective, the casino had a losing night. From Danny's perspective, he just stole $5,000 invisibly. Technique number 2, chip float manipulation. Each gaming table starts with a float, the initial chip inventory in the dealer's tray. Standard float at Beto's casino, $50,000 per table. Danny would gradually reduce floats by $1,000 to $2,000 per table, moving those chips to his personal stockpile, hidden in the security office. With 8 tables operating, he could accumulate $8,000, $16,000 in unreported chips weekly. When Beto occasionally checked table floats, Danny would temporarily replenish them from his hidden stock, then remove the chips again after inspection. Technique number 3, VIP room ghost transactions. The VIP Baccarat room had no surveillance cameras at clients' request. High rollers demanded absolute privacy. This created a perfect blind spot. Danny would create fictitious buy-ins and cash-outs in his reports. Real transaction. VIP player buys in for $100,000, plays for 3 hours, cashes out $85,000, lost $15,000. Danny's report to Beto. VIP player bought in for $110,000, cashed out $85,000. Casino won $25,000. Reality. Casino won $15,000. Danny pocketed $10,000. Beto couldn't verify these numbers without cameras, and he trusted Danny's reporting. Financial timeline. FBI forensic accounting. Year 1, September 2011, AUG 2012. $87,000 stolen testing phase, small amounts, building confidence. Year 2, September 2012, AUG 2013. $213,000 stolen refined techniques, increased frequency. By August 2013, Danny had accumulated $300,000 in stolen funds. He deposited this money in small increments across 6 different banks in San Diego, staying below the $10,000 threshold that triggers currency transaction reports to the IRS. He lived modestly, same apartment in Tijuana, same 10-year-old car, same $400 monthly budget, no visible lifestyle change that might attract attention, but everything was about to accelerate. March 2014. By early 2014, Danny had been working at the casino for 30 months. He'd stolen $300,000 without raising suspicion, but his theft capacity was limited by working alone. He needed help. The first person he approached was Carlos. Carlos's testimony. Danny promoted me to senior dealer in March 2014. Better pay, went from $3,000 to $4,500 monthly. Better shifts, better tables. I was grateful. One night after closing, around 4:30 in the morning, Danny asked me to stay behind. Said he wanted to discuss my performance. We sat in the break room, Just us. He said I was doing excellent work, really trustworthy, someone he could rely on. Then he said something strange. Carlos, you ever notice how Beto counts the chips at the end of the night? I said not really. I just focused on my tables. He said, he doesn't count them, not carefully. He trusts the totals we give him. He trusts me, and I trust you. But that trust creates opportunities. I didn't understand at first. Then he showed me his technique. How to miscount a chip tray by $500 or $1,000. Not in obvious ways. You don't just hide chips. You miscategorize them. Report $25 chips as $5 chips. Mix denominations. Create small discrepancies that look like honest mistakes. Nobody checks, he said. I've been doing it for 2 years, made over $300,000. If you help me, we split it 50-50. I should have said no, should have reported him, but I had a pregnant wife. We were saving for a house. $4,500 a month wasn't enough. He offered me another $5,000 to $10,000 monthly if I helped him adjust the counts. I said yes. God help me. I said yes. Carlos wasn't the only one. Between March 2014 and January 2015, Danny recruited 3 other dealers into his scheme. Rafael, poker dealer, 28 years old, needed money for his mother's cancer treatment, recruited April 2014. Luis, blackjack dealer, 34 years old, supporting 3 children on dealer salary, recruited August 2014. Sophia, roulette dealer, 31 years old, single mother, 2 kids, struggling with rent, recruited January 2015. Each dealer operated independently. They didn't know about each other's involvement. Danny kept them isolated, controlling the information flow. The system worked like this. Each recruited dealer would miscount their table by $500 to $2,000 per shift, using the techniques Danny taught them. At the end of the night, they'd report the lower number to Danny. Danny would confirm the count to Beto. The unreported chips would be transferred to Danny's hidden stockpile. Once or twice monthly, Danny would cash out a portion at various casinos throughout Baja California, Rosarito, Ensenada, Mexicali, converting chips to cash. He'd then meet each dealer individually and pay them their 50% cut in cash. Monthly theft capacity with dealer network. Carlos, on $12,000 per month. Danny's cut, $6,000. Rafael, $8,000 per month. Danny's cut, $4,000. Luis, $10,000 per month. Danny's cut, $5,000. Sophia, $14,000 per month. Danny's cut, $7,000. Danny's personal techniques, $8,000 per month total, $30,000 per month. Danny's share, $30,000. But Danny's real fortune didn't come from the casino theft. It came from what he did with the money. In December 2013, Danny discovered Bitcoin trading at $800. Between January 2014 and December 2016, he converted $600,000 stolen cash into approximately 200 BTC at average price $400-600. Then came 2017. Bitcoin peaked at $19,783 on December 17th. Danny's holdings, $23.7 million at peak. He sold 800 BTC between December 15th to 22 at average $17,200, netting $13.76 million. He laundered this through BTC, Monero, P2P cash trades, Mexican banks, shell companies, real estate, and gold. By February 2018, net worth exceeded $15 million. He was 40 years old. He'd worked at the underground casino for 6.5 years. He'd stolen more money than he could spend in 3 lifetimes, but he couldn't leave. Carlos's testimony. In May 2018, my daughter was born, beautiful little girl. I told Danny I wanted out, start fresh, be a good father, stop stealing. He looked at me like I'd said something insane. You think you can just leave? He asked. You know too much. About the casino, about the cartel, about me, about what we've been doing. If you leave, you're a security risk. They'll kill you. They'll kill your whole family. I said, what about you? When are you leaving? He smiled. Not a happy smile. A cold, calculating smile. I'm not leaving, he said. I'm taking over. That conversation happened on May 23, 2000. 7 months later, Danny began planning Beto's murder. Danny's problem was simple. He couldn't retire. The cartel would never allow someone with his knowledge to simply walk away. Retirement meant elimination, but what if he could eliminate Beto instead? What if he could make the cartel believe Beto was stealing from them? They'd execute Beto themselves. Then Danny could step in as the loyal employee who exposed the theft. The cartel would need someone to run the casino. Danny was the obvious choice. He'd go from employee to owner, from thief to legitimate operator. The plan began on December 3, 2018. Phase 1. Document forgery. Danny purchased identical ledger books Beto used and began forging entries showing Beto skimming $2.8 from cartel payments between January 2017 November 2018. FBI document analysis. Sophisticated forgeries using traced handwriting, correct paper stock, matched ink, Pilot G2, and artificial aging. Only microscopic examination revealed inconsistent ink saturation and traced handwriting tremor patterns. Phase 2. Digital evidence. In August 2018, Danny had installed a keylogger on Beto's laptop during a late-night shift when Beto left his office unlocked. The keylogger captured every keystroke, including passwords. On January 15, 2019, using Beto's captured passwords, Danny accessed Beto's personal email account from Beto's own home Wi-Fi network. Danny had obtained the Wi-Fi password months earlier. He created a new email account, offshore.banking.services@protonmail.com. Then, using Beto's legitimate email account from Beto's IP address, he sent emails to this fake offshore banking account. Email number 1, January 18, 2019, 11:47 p.m., from beto@salazargmail.com to offshore.banking.services@protonmail.com. Subject, transfer inquiry. Need to discuss moving funds quietly. Approximately $3 million USD. Cayman accounts preferred. Respond with consultation fee structure. RS email number 2, January 23, 2019, 10:22 p.m. from beto@salazargmail.com to offshore.banking.services@protonmail.com. Subject, RE, account setup confirmed. Wire instructions attached. First transfer $800K will initiate Friday. Remaining balance following verification. Cannot route through normal channels. Discretion essential. RS Cyber Forensics Analysis, FBI Cyber Division, 2020. The emails appeared to originate from Roberto Salazar's legitimate Gmail account, sent from his home IP address, confirmed via ISP records, using his actual computer, verified via device fingerprinting. Metadata analysis. Correct time zone, Pacific Standard Time. Correct geolocation, San Diego, CA. Email client matched Beto's usual client, Gmail web interface. No VPN or proxy detected. To anyone examining these emails, they appeared completely legitimate. Only by cross-referencing with Beto's actual whereabouts, he was out of town January 18th to 20, could we determine the emails were sent by someone else accessing his account. The offshore banking account was registered through ProtonMail using a prepaid debit card purchased with cash. IP address traced to a public Wi-Fi location in Tijuana. Untraceable. Phase 3. Physical evidence. In March 2019, Danny planted 3 items in Beto's office. Item 1, counterfeit passport under the name Ricardo Salinas with Beto's photo. Purchased from a document forger in Tijuana for $2,500. Item 2, $50,000 cash hidden in a false bottom of Beto's desk drawer. This was money Danny had stolen years earlier, now being discovered as evidence of Beto's theft. Item 3, printed airline tickets for a flight from Tijuana to Bogota, Colombia, departing May 22, 2019, 2 weeks in the future from when he'd revealed the evidence. Everything pointed to Beto planning to flee with stolen money. The trap was set. Danny just needed to spring it. May 3rd, 2019, 3:45 a.m. Danny finished his shift at the casino. Most staff had left. Only Miguel, the head security guard, remained to lock up. Danny asked Miguel to stay for a moment, said he needed to discuss something serious. Miguel's testimony. Danny looked nervous, really nervous, not like him at all. He was always calm, controlled. But that night, he was shaking. He said, "Miguel, I found something bad. I need your help, but I'm scared to go directly to the bosses." I asked what he found. He showed me the ledgers, showed me the entries where Beto supposedly diverted cartel money, showed me the emails on Beto's laptop, showed me the passport, the cash, the airline tickets. Beto's been stealing from the cartel, Danny said. Almost $3 million. He's planning to run to Colombia in 2 weeks. I was shocked. Beto had always seemed loyal, but the evidence was right there. Documents in his handwriting, emails from his account, cash hidden in his office. Danny said, "If I report this directly, they might think I'm involved, that I'm trying to cover my own theft by blaming Beto. But if you report it, coming from security, they'll believe it." He was right. I was security. My job was to notice these things. I told El Gordo that same morning. El Gordo was the cartel's enforcer, handled problems. I showed him everything Danny showed me. El Gordo took it straight to the cartel leadership. Intercepted communication. DEA wiretap, May 5, 2019. Note, translation from Spanish. Subject identities confirmed via voice analysis. Voice 1, identified, Sinaloa Regional Coordinator. You've seen the evidence? Voice 2, identified, El Gordo. Yes, ledgers showing 2.8 million diverted, emails to offshore banker, fake passport, cash hidden in his office, plane tickets to Colombia. Voice 1, Beto's been with us 12 years. Voice 2, which makes it worse, 12 years of trust, and he steals. Voice 1, or someone's framing him. Voice 2, the pit boss brought it forward, Reyes. 8 years, never a problem. Why would he lie? Voice 1, maybe he's the one stealing. Voice 2, then why expose it? Why not just keep quiet? Long pause. Voice 1, bring Beto in, quietly, we'll ask questions. If he talks, maybe he lives. If he runs, you know what to do. May 15th, 2019, 11 p.m. Beto Salazar left the casino as usual. Outside, El Gordo and 2 other men waited by Beto's car. "Boss wants to talk to you," El Gordo said. Beto knew what this meant, but he went anyway. You don't refuse the cartel. They drove him to a warehouse in eastern Tijuana. Inside, 3 cartel leadership members and a table covered with documents. Reconstruction, based on FBI investigation and witness testimony. The interrogation lasted approximately 2 hours. Beto was shown the forged ledgers, the emails, the passport, the cash, the airline tickets. Beto denied everything. "This is fake. I've never seen these ledgers. Those aren't my entries. Someone's setting me up." "Who would set you up?" "I don't know. Maybe Danny. Maybe—" "Danny reported you. Danny's been loyal for 8 years. Why would he frame you?" Beto had no answer. The evidence was overwhelming. 3 million in documented theft, emails from his account, physical evidence in his office, plane tickets in his name. Around 2:00 a.m., the senior cartel member made a decision. Take him to the desert. Make sure he can't be identified easily. Send a message to anyone else thinking about stealing from us. Beto was executed approximately 3:30 a.m. on May 16, 2019. 3 shots to the back of the head. His body was driven to Arizona, hands destroyed with acid, face burned, dental work shattered, then dumped in the desert to be found eventually as a warning. May 20, 2019, 2 p.m. Danny was called to a meeting with cartel leadership, same warehouse where Beto had been interrogated 4 days earlier. He went, knowing this was the critical moment. Either they believed him, or they'd kill him too. Carlos's testimony. Danny came back to the casino around 6 p.m. that day. Called all the dealers together. Told us Beto was gone. Retired, he said, but we all knew what that meant. There's been a management change, Danny said. I'll be running operations now. Business continues as normal. The cartel has full confidence in our operation. Nobody questioned it. You don't question the cartel. But I looked at Danny's face. He wasn't scared. Wasn't sad. He looked satisfied. That's when I knew. Danny had done this. Danny had killed Beto. Cartel internal communication. Intercepted. Translated. From redacted Sinaloa leadership to regional operations. Date May 20th, 2019. RE Tijuana casino management change. Roberto Salazar removed for financial misconduct and attempted theft of organizational funds. Daniel Reyes promoted to manager operator effective immediately. Reyes demonstrated loyalty by reporting theft. 8-year clean record. Understands operations thoroughly. Profit margins must improve 15% within 6 months. Reyes granted full authority to restructure operations as needed. 60-40 profit split. Organization operator. Monthly payments continue as scheduled. Danny had won. He'd framed Beto for crimes that never happened. The cartel executed Beto, and Danny took over the casino, from pit boss to owner in 8 years. But his victory would last less than 9 months. June 2019, February 2020. As manager, operator of the casino, Danny's official compensation changed dramatically. Base salary, $25,000 monthly, cash. Profit percentage, 15% of net monthly profits. Average monthly net, $400,000 and $700,000. Danny's 15%, $60,000 and $105,000 monthly. Total legitimate income, $85,000 or $130,000 monthly. But Danny didn't stop stealing. If anything, he became more aggressive. Business records, seized by DEA February 2020. Under Beto's management, 2018. Average monthly revenue, 1.6 meters. Operating costs, $950,000. Net profit to cartel, $650,000 under Danny's management, 2019-2020. Average monthly revenue, 2.4 mentors claimed. Operating costs, 1.4 mentors claimed. Net profit to cartel, 1.0 mentors. The cartel was happy. Profits had increased 54%, but Danny was inflating both revenue and costs. He continued using his old techniques: phantom winners, chip float manipulation, VIP room ghost transactions, now hidden within the larger operational budget. Additionally, he created fake operating expenses. Security upgrades, $40,000 month, actual $15,000. Equipment maintenance, $25,000 month, actual $8,000. License fees, bribes, $60,000 month, actual $30,000. The difference went into Danny's pocket. Estimated theft as manager, June 2019, February 2020. $30,000 and $50,000 monthly, x 8 months, shouts at $240,000, $400,000, combined with his existing fortune. Previous casino theft, 4.3 seals. Bitcoin holdings, 7.8 pounds, current value. Cash reserves, 3.2 mers. Real estate, purchased under shell companies, 1.5 mans. Total net worth by February 2020, 17.2. Danny had achieved everything he'd planned, eliminated his boss, taken over the operation, accumulated a fortune. But the DEA had been watching since 2018. DEA case file, DAR SD 2018-8847 operation. Name, Desert Mirage. Classification, organized crime, money laundering. The investigation began in March 2018 when a confidential informant provided information about Sinaloa Cartel money laundering operations in Tijuana. The informant mentioned an underground casino on Avenida Revolucion. DEA Special Agent Robert Williams initiated surveillance. By June 2018, they'd confirmed the casino's existence and identified Roberto Salazar as the operator. The original plan: continue surveillance, gather evidence, eventually arrest Salazar and seize the operation. Then, in June 2019, everything changed. Agent Williams's testimony, or in 2020. We intercepted communications referencing Beto Salazar's retirement. The language was clear. They'd killed him. We didn't know why at the time. Then a new name appeared in intercepts. Daniel Reyes. Suddenly he was running the casino. We ran his background. Found he'd worked there since 2011. Never appeared on our radar before. We intensified surveillance. Started monitoring his movements, his communications, his financial activities. In September 2019, we inserted an undercover agent as a high-stakes player. He gambled there 3 times, observed operations, reported back. By November, we had enough for Title III wiretaps. That's when we discovered the truth about Beto's murder. Critical wiretap, November 12, 2019, 2:47 a.m. Reyes. The old man kept sloppy books. I've cleaned everything up. Numbers are tight now. El Gordo. Boss is happy. Keep it running smooth. Reyes. What about the body? Anyone asking questions about Beto? El Gordo. What body? Beto retired to Colombia. That's the story. His wife got a settlement. She knows to keep quiet. Reyes. And the evidence, the ledgers. El Gordo. Destroyed. Everything pointing to his theft is gone. You're clean. This conversation revealed everything. Danny had framed Beto. The theft was fabricated. Beto's murder was based on false evidence. Additional evidence gathered, November 2019, January 2020. Bank records showing Danny's unexplained wealth, Bitcoin transaction history, real estate purchases under shell companies, testimony from Carlos, dealer, cooperating witness, testimony from Miguel, security, cooperating witness, forensic accounting, showing 16.8 mint theft, document analysis proving ledger forgery. By January 2020, federal prosecutors had enough evidence for arrest warrants and asset seizure. Operational plan, targets. Primary, Daniel Reyes, conspiracy to commit murder, money laundering, RICO. Secondary, El Gordo, murder, drug trafficking. Tertiary, 4 dealers, money laundering, conspiracy, casino assets, civil forfeiture. Date, February 13, 2020. Time, 4:47 a.m. during closing procedures. Teams, DEA, 12 agents, FBI, 8 agents, Mexican Federal Police, 20 officers, February 13, 2020, 4:47 a.m. Danny was in his office counting the night's receipts when he heard shouting downstairs. Automatic weapons, commands in English and Spanish. Federal agents, nobody move. He knew immediately what was happening. For 8 months, he'd feared this moment. Now it had arrived. Arrest video. Transcript. FBI body cam footage. Timestamp 04:52:17. Agent Williams. Daniel Marcus Reyes. Reyes. Yes. Williams. FBI. You're under arrest for money laundering, racketeering, conspiracy to commit murder, wire fraud, and obstruction of justice. Williams reads Miranda rights. Reyes. Murder? I didn't kill anyone. Williams. Roberto Salazar, the man you framed with forged documents and fake evidence. The man who was executed because you made the cartel believe he stole from them. Reyes remained silent, visibly shaken. Williams. We have everything, Danny. The forged ledgers, the fake emails, the Bitcoin transactions, your dealer network. Carlos and Miguel are cooperating. El Gordo's in custody. It's over. Reyes, after long pause. I want a lawyer. Evidence seized. $4,200,000 cash, casino safe and Danny's storage units. Casino equipment valued at $800,000. Computer servers containing financial records. 12 firearms. 2 kilograms of cocaine, separate charges. Forged documents. Danny's personal ledgers, documenting actual thefts. Arrests. Daniel Reyes, age 41. El Gordo, age 48. Real name, Hector Morales. Carlos, dealer, age 35, cooperating witness. Rafael, dealer, age 32. Luis, dealer, age 38. Sophia, dealer, age 35. 17 additional casino employees and customers. Danny was transported to San Diego Federal Detention Facility. Bail denied, flight risk, danger to community. His trial began 8 months later. United States versus Daniel Reyes, October 2020. The trial lasted 4 weeks, 73 witnesses, 847 pieces of evidence. Key testimony: Carlos, dealer, immunity. Danny recruited me in 2014, showed me how to steal. After Beto disappeared, Danny wasn't scared. He was satisfied. He knew what would happen. That's murder. Miguel, security, witness protection. Danny gave me fake evidence against Beto, made me think I was catching a thief. Instead, I helped commit murder. FBI forensic accountant. Most sophisticated embezzlement in organized crime. 16.8 porn stolen over 8 years through systematic manipulation. Verdict: guilty on all counts. Judge Morrison sentencing: you framed Roberto Salazar with forged evidence, leading to his execution, then took his job. 35 years federal prison, no parole, full asset forfeiture. Daniel Reyes is currently incarcerated at FCI Victorville, a medium-security federal prison in California. Inmate number 47291-198. His earliest possible release date, March 14, 2055, when he'll be 77 years old. He's filed 2 appeals. Both were denied. He declined all interview requests for this story. Where they are now: Carlos, dealer, witness protection program, new identity, new city. Provided written statement: I think about Beto every day. I helped murder an innocent man for money I never kept. That guilt will never leave me. Miguel, security, witness protection program, testified against 3 additional cartel members. Danny destroyed so many lives, including his own. Was $16 million worth it? I think he'd say no now. El Gordo, Hector Morales, convicted of murder, drug trafficking, racketeering, sentenced to 45 years federal prison, currently at ADX Florence Supermax facility. Rafael, Luis, Sofia, dealers, each received 5 to 8 year sentences with cooperation agreements, all completed sentences and entered witness protection. The underground casino, permanently closed. Building seized by Mexican government. Now a municipal parking garage. Elena Salazar, Beto's widow. Received $500,000 from seized assets as restitution. Declined interview. Her son works as a dealer at a legitimate Las Vegas casino. The missing money. $3.8 million remains unrecovered. Federal investigators believe it's hidden in offshore accounts or buried in physical locations known only to Danny. From prison, he's offered no information about its location. Final analysis: Daniel Reyes stole $16.8 million from a cartel casino over 8 years. He framed his boss for murder. He took over a criminal enterprise. He built a fortune through systematic theft and cryptocurrency investment. He thought he'd beaten the system. He lasted 8 months before the FBI took it all away. In the end, he gained nothing and lost everything. 35 years in federal prison, all his money seized. His family wants nothing to do with him. His freedom gone. The house always wins, even in underground casinos, especially there. End. As case. Status: closed conviction date, October 15, 2020. Sentence: 35 years federal prison. Amount stolen, $16,800,000. Amount recovered, $13,000 amount missing, $3,800,000. Current status, 2024. Daniel Marcus Reyes, inmate, Borough 47291-198, FCI Victorville, California. Projected release, March 14, 2055, age 77. Roberto Salazar, deceased, June 2019. Buried at Holy Cross Cemetery, San Diego, California. The underground casino on Avenida Revolucion, demolished 2022. Site is now a parking structure. Justice served, money recovered, lives destroyed. The pit boss who tried to beat the cartel learned what every gambler eventually discovers. The odds are always against you.